Hello people, and welcome back to part 7 of Noveria, our Cities Skylines snow build. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. And thank you so much for all the kind comments, suggestions and support on the last episode. You guys really enjoyed a little commercial waterfront suburb building here. I'm a big fan of it, big fan. I really like the model moderation. We didn't use this until quite late on in Palaven, so it's nice to see it in so early in Noveria. But either way, very nice. However, we are getting a bit of abandonment starting to prop up, and this is because we are not having enough highly educated workers. We have a look at our education demand. You can see we are way down in our university availability, and nearly elementary as well. We could do another elementary school around here at some point as well. But university absolutely needs to be addressed, which means it's time to dive into one of my favourite DLCs. I absolutely love campus, really enjoy putting together these universities, and it's actually going to be my first snowy university, of course, since this is my first snow map. So let's see what we can do. So I think I'm eyeing up this big bulk of land between the railway, and I definitely want to have this railway integrated into the campus as well, but I want it to be sunken down a little bit. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to integrate a nice little railway, probably a metro into the university area too. Should be a nice time. Okay, we're going to start up by bringing a road up so we can set our elevation height, because I want the elevation to be similar to this. Then we're going to bring up a little road here, and I think that'll be okay. We're going to pick out a little layer, take away the road, and then we'll now terraform up and into this space. Looks like we are going to run out of soil, which is fine. We will just steal some from this cliff face over here. That's no problem at all. Okay, so I'm just going to carry on terraforming around this rail line here, okay, which is going to give it that sunken effect that I'm after. Let's have a look how we're feeling here. Yeah, okay, we can definitely do something with this. And of course we can even integrate a train station into the campus as well. Once we do hit that population of 11k, which we might do today, we're not that far away. But either way, next episode we'll probably work on a nice fancy high density residential expansion. So let's go onto our roads and start mapping out the start of the campus area. And I think we'll come in with, how about a little entrance point here? Come off the road guideline. And we'll come out by 10. Across by 10 and back down. And let's see how we're feeling about these inclines. I don't think that's too bad, is it? I think we're okay. Let's also soften out this little slope here too. Alright. Don't think that's too bad, is it? Let's come ahead and grab our campus stuff. We want to paint out a university area, of course, actually. And then we can perfectly centralise our administration building to sit up here at the top of this road. So quite a short little run up. And there's certainly some decoration opportunities we can get involved with here as well, of course. How are we looking from behind here? Yeah, that's not too bad, I don't think, is it? I think I'm happy with that. Wonderful. Let's go ahead and hook these guys in some water. Okay, so as with everything in my cities, asset orientation is my best friend, and I want to start having a look at this little block of land over here. And I think this is going to be ideal for some dormitories to sit up against, maybe. Now we can bring out a little pathway here. Bringing it this close to the road does affect our terraforming ever so slightly. But again, I think we can possibly knock it back just a tile, so let's bring it onto this one instead. I think that makes it a little more palatable. And then we can even maybe come out here as well with some elevated pathway action to help flow over the road, which is going to introduce a nice layer of height. And possibly even feed it down onto these roads as well with a distance of 142. Okay. And then possibly even into the keys as well, if we were to be so dangerous. Let's come on to just our angle snap. There we go, that's what we want. feed them into the walkable keys. That's going to bring everyone walking into the campus area. And then we'll place our trade school dormitories, of course. Let's go ahead and pop in one there. Okay, that angle's a little bit janky, isn't it? I don't know why it's done that. Let's redraw that in. Okay, that's not looking too bad, I don't think. Let's go ahead and grab our pathways again, and now that we know where this little bridge is going to sit, we can now bring it across the water. We'll make sure we're staying at a sensible height as we come over the river. So we're dipping down there slightly, but it's okay, we can always refine, of course. Let's come off the road length as we come into here. Shout that farm fence, and we'll see if anyone picks this up. Hopefully they will. Yeah, there's a touch of wavy vibes as it goes over, isn't it? But we can always sort that out. Oh yes, there we go. Someone's picking it up. Let's have a look. What's going on? Dexter Chapman. He's going to work. Nice. A little first person tour here, yeah. There's definitely a little bit of a swoop in the bridge, but nice little bit of first person river pathway action. I'm guessing he's just going to go straight across the road as well. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, so that's really going to pick up some use. That's good to see. On this level as well. Cute. Wonderful. Okay, so let's delete the dormitory. And then we will come out with our pathway here. Just temporarily. Let's also take this away now and then drop in the dormitory where we know we're going to have our pathway. So also come onto the grid here too. And then bring it back down. And then we can start introducing some repeated dormitory designs as well, of course. Alright. Now I think already from even the street level, we're starting to see some nice layers coming in. And also satisfying that university demand as well. So I'm toying with the idea of a possible throne angle rather than running them in kind of these rectangle designs. And I don't think I like it. I'm not gonna lie. Although I don't know, it's not too bad, I suppose, is it? I don't think it's too bad. Maybe. I think it's, I don't know. Unsure. I think maybe we can block it in from this one. Let's have a look if we were to bring it in on this angle instead. Maybe here. Alright. Something like that. I think that's a little more palatable in the eye, isn't it? Gonna help throw some different shapes out here too. Possible green belt designs. Develop some eatery stuff in here for the students maybe. And then let's discuss a touch of spice, which I realise does sound a little bit like a regional detective drama set in the snowy escapes of Noveria, but we're just going to come in with a little windy pathway. And how about a touch of farm fence action, of course. I need to leave the game on paused so we can hopefully move towards that 11k population. Alright. Bring these down. And then we'll also grab our forest brush for Noveria. And just pop a couple of little trees around here. And I think that'll just help kill a little bit of awkward space in our campus area with a little windy pathway that brings people straight into the campus itself. Very, very nice. Okay, cute. Wonderful. Let's have a look at a little road design here. So we're going to come onto our angle and road length. Also a road guideline as we come onto our freeform tool. Yep, that's fine. And we'll have it come down here as well. And then let's see what other university assets we have to play with here. So of course we don't want to forget the police academy, because I remember doing this in Palaven when we started the trade school. I forgot about this asset, and it's very, very important looking. And I think lining it up against the rail here is going to be our best bet. Possibly partner it with a metro station as well, because we do have metro in the area. So I think the regular metro station would pair really nicely with our police academy. So we'll possibly save that for over here. So there's a touch of roller coaster vibes going on here. Let's start to see if we can correct this. Okay, yeah, I think that's a nice integration of the metro line. Wonderful. Okay, so also bring it to cross over at the train line here if we can. Now again, this is going to be quite an important aesthetic of the campus that we're running with here. I think that should be okay. Possibly even make that a touch shorter. Yeah, like that, okay. So from one point to the other is 1680. Alright, we'll deal with that when we come to the side. Back to our campus assets. So the trade school study hall is a really interesting one. So this is the front of the asset, right? Quite brutalist in its design. A little bit boring to look at from the front anyway. But its side here, with the staircases and the glass, this looks much more like the front of the asset to me. So we're definitely going to orientate this to sit with this facing out as to what we want it to. And I think maybe two of these, either side of our little metro line here, is going to be something of an appropriate design. So let's have a look how we can play with this. Let's go into our grid with no road guideline. I think we'll leave distance of 2 tiles either side. Yeah, okay. I think facing into the metro line is definitely the vibe that we want. So let's run with that. So we'll bring another one out here. And we'll flip this one onto its other orientation. And that's going to give us that very nicely repeated pattern in front of this university metro line as well. Okay, so I think I've decided to remove one of the dormitory buildings to accommodate the tennis court here. Alright. We're also going to chuck in a regular Park Life Cafe next door, alongside a restroom. And then I think maybe a snowman park as well. So just a little cluster of kind of leisure and activity within the dormitory area, and then it's brought a road around off the back of this little main road that flows through the campus area. So I think that's a slightly nicer use of the space. And if we want to, there's also the possibility to include another dormitory along the back here should we get that demand, which we will do eventually. Otherwise, I don't think that's too bad. I think I'm fairly happy with that as it stands. So just go ahead and grab our roads again, and we'll continue to orientate some assets into the build as we see fit. I think this is going to be a nice spot for our trade school groundskeeping. Maybe even pop in a couple of these either side. A little bit of repeated groundskeeping action. Okay, these guys, this is not appropriate attire for this climate, guys. You must be freezing. Just wearing like curtains, walking around. Crazy people. Okay, so we've hit our students. We just need a little more campus attractiveness. And then 2 academic works in order to hit the level 2 of the trade school. Which we won't take to level 5, because these things take a fair amount of time to get to level 5, so we won't get it in one episode. We'll definitely have a second part of our University of Technology. However, I want to carry on terraforming now, and looking to introduce that police academy into the build. So let's continue to move out this landmass in the fashion that we're enjoying here. Right, just up until the point. See what we can do. And then we'll have a little discussion about how we're planning to integrate the metro line in front of the area. So the metro line is currently flowing in this direction. It's going to make sense that it possibly carries on down here. And we can possibly add in another metro junction which takes us into the eventual downtown over there. Okay, just kind of thinking further ahead with our public transport and how we actually want to orientate our key assets here. So we'll come back into our trade school pathway. Let's go on to road length and angle. I think we'll come out by 80. Cross over. And then come back down. Repeat that on this side. So the incline is quite sharp on that bridge, but I don't think I hate it. It's symmetrical with the rail line anyway. Okay, that's quite cute. I think we'll keep that in. Let's run this one over here as well. Let's go ahead and grab our police academy again. And then we'll actually just draw in bordering road so we know where we're dropping it in. Let's go for there. That should be quite nice. Let's go ahead and bring this road out now. Bit that road length on as well, actually. Okay, so now let's factor in the metro line. Let's see how we're getting on while the town centre slowly burns down in the background. So when I bring this down, what was the distance here we were running with? It's 60 and 80, isn't it, from its lowest point. So if we did want to keep it symmetrical, that would be the distance. Which again, I don't think I hate. And then of course that can now just continue to flow out of the campus area and elsewhere into the map, which we will leave just a dead extension of that line as a reminder that we have a metro in this area and it has to carry on flowing. But I think that'll be okay otherwise. Alright, I think the concept of the metro line is starting to... So I think the concept of the train and metro integration is starting to come together now. And it'll be really fun to get one of those new train stations in the campus as well once we unlock them. Very nice. Okay, let's carry on. With our little curved road designs here, if we don't do them in a weird way, we should be okay. Let's bring this one off a touch as well. There we go. Okay, and then those pathways can also converge at this point now too. Hook into there. And then likewise with this one as well. We should be able to mooch back through with a vanilla pathway here just on the angle. I'm hoping we can anyway. Let's see if we can amend this. There we go, that's what we want. And then we'll grab that pathway again. And bring that in. So people can actually hook into the back of these metro stations. They don't just have the front entrance, they can use this side as well. Well, let's actually go ahead and grab this metro line. So you can flow into here now. That's going to be very exciting for everyone involved, I think. And then we'll hopefully catch our first glimpse of the new campus metro line here. Here he goes. Oh yeah, very nice. I like that. Already getting some people heading to that metro station now as well. No one getting off yet, of course, but yeah, very nice. And definitely getting one of the train stations here as well. Have a a national switch point onto the internal Noveria public transport system. If there was one thing I championed in Palaven, it was the constant converging of public transport systems. It really makes a difference to not only the traffic, but how much people are actually using your public transport in the city. So we've hit student numbers, we've hit campus attractiveness, we're now just waiting on those academic works, for which we will commission one for the end of the year, just to guarantee that we do get one. And then I think we'll start formulating some Green Cities commercial designs with our car parks here, because I definitely want some larger car parking facilities outside of these Police Academy and metro station stuff. So I think we'll run with a small park within the campus area. And then let's have a look at our road orientations to see if we can accommodate some car parks in this area. Okay, so we're one off, but just like last episode, we can fix this just by throwing this initial orientation and then bringing a pathway through the middle. So I think we'll do that. Let's go ahead and set ourselves up a little Green Cities district. So just throwing down a quick book club just so we're sinking power through into the metro station. But I definitely like the car parks outside of larger public transport assets like this. But otherwise, I don't think I'm actually massively hating that so far. I think it's okay. It's kind of coming on together. I do want to have a little chat about the integration of some high-density residential into the campus area, kind of like we did in Palaven, for those that follow that series. So I think up and around and behind the police academy is going to be kind of a nice little choice, and we will do probably next episode an episode on how to make high density residential look good and not just kind of mass zone it in, because everyone knows I hate that. It just you have to be so careful with asset selection with high density residential, otherwise it really starts to depreciate the value of the city, at least in my opinion. Okay, so how about we start tethering on some little zonable blocks of high density res here, coming through with some smaller roads in these sections. So I really want to start playing with the road network here in order to get those patterns in that I'm after. So I think I'm definitely after a repeated pattern with high density res. I think it's going to be one of these. So this is a 4x4, right? Yeah, okay. So I think maybe a little block of these facing out onto the railway here. It's going to be something we can all enjoy. The point, I like to zone my high density residential, or any kind of zoning really, not just to bring this green bar down and satisfy that demand, but what's the story behind the residential area. So I think what we can do here is almost tie in like a little block of flats that belongs to the university. So it's maybe some out of campus student accommodation for maybe those that didn't get a space in the official dormitories. There's maybe some cheaper, less desirable residential, and that sits just on the outskirts or next to the campus area. Alright. We'll of course bring our pathways through. It'd be rude not to include at least one little rock garden here. Maybe we can introduce a few trees to help decorate our street out here. But even looking down here now, so I've gone for a mix and match of each of the 4x4 assets. Kind of see how they all sit with each other within this park area here. Okay. So I'm hoping that the hearses will come and pick up some of these dead people. Just placing another cemetery over here as well next to the highway. So I think we'll trim back a little bit of this terraforming now. And then allow this road to come through. Now I think I want to upgrade this into arterial. So I think we'll take away this little road we planned out last episode. Let's see what we can do to help accommodate this new chunkier road. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. So of course not forget to bring our pathway back down. There we go. Cool. So I think this would be a nice spot for our train station to come into. I don't think I'd totally be hating that. But really now, it's just a case of waiting for those academic works to come in, and of course to hit the student number again. And I think we'll give another grant just so we make sure we hit it. But now it's just a matter of leaving the game on 3 speed, so we can get to level 2, which is probably where we'll leave the campus for today, and then come back once we have some more of that university demand. And wonderful. So having carried on expanding our low density suburb near the university, we are going to hit 11,000 population, which gives us access to a whole bunch of new transport stuff. Some of these really nice train stations as well, which we'll definitely get in the campus today. But yeah, train travel is now unlocked, which is massive, absolutely mega. So let's have a look at how we can possibly introduce a train station into the campus to accept some intercity trains. So we have a couple of them available to us immediately. Ooh, we also have the new metro stations too. Nice. Probably upgrade this one into one of the new metros. And but we'll get to that. If possible for this one as well. Lovely. Can't wait to use some of these. Okay, so let's have a little look at them. There's 3 possible options that we can get involved with here today. So this one's a really nice looking one, and I think it fits in with the theme of a university of technology a little better. It's quite modern. As was this one. As do they all. This one probably does the most, actually, to be fair. Yeah. So many good choices. Yeah, I'm really excited to use these things. Yeah. Car park decals as well. Yes, please. Okay. So I'm thinking... I think this one. This is my initial leaning into asset. I like this one. So let's go for this one. Let's get this integrated into the campus today. Okay, so let's terraform out the layer as to where our train station is going to sit. Let's also grab the road. And then let's have a little look here. So we're at 320. Let's come onto our road guideline. And then we'll snap onto the road network of the pathway. Just trying a little road here. Let's see if we can squeeze this little baby in. Yes, we can. Let's make sure we're not too badly affecting our terraforming. Get a little rail junction like this. This one's possibly a little narrow, but we'll see how it performs anyway. And then what I want to do is come ahead now and terraform that massive land back around how everything was sat. And then we can possibly have some really nice kind of pathway action flowing around all this now as well. So let's come back in and grab our university pathways. Go on to our straight road tool. Okay, so I think this should be quite a nice design for our rail network within the campus. It certainly adds a lot more intrigue into that very flat blanket of snow, doesn't it, if we're going to start terraforming around the rail line to give the campus a little more focus, a little more love. Yeah. Very nice. Okay. Let's grab a little one-way system for our train station here. We'll also bring some pathways up and down to this one as well. So we'll grab just a regular one-way road. Okay, there we go. There is our campus train station. Very happy with that integration. We'll of course have to wait for a train to arrive, but they are set up to accept intercity trains, so should have some people arrive fairly soon. Little meandering pathway down into the train station square. then also grab some water pipes for it as well. Very nice, but I'm super happy we've got that in today. Now we just have to wait for a train, which hopefully shouldn't be too long. Here we go, yes please. I did miss the train because we were on 3-speed. This is why we don't play on 3-speed, but we have people arriving. 2 of them drove, and the rest of them are all taking the metro. Yes. Very nice. So this is the point of converging methods of public transport together, right? You could even stick a tram square outside of this too, and have a separate tram network here. Alright, very nice. How are we doing for this? Yeah, we're still just struggling to hit the student numbers. That's fine though, we'll just carry on waiting. Again, likewise with our metro, we can also start an internal rail line off of this as well, with these bypass train stations. So we'll remember just to leave ourselves a dead end of rail line over here. Let's now push this back up against the train station. Yeah, so just leave ourselves this little dead end metro line, which I think again will give us our first kind of proper layers of elevated transport height, or elevated public transport height in the city as well. Okay. And then we can leave that going over there too. Cute. Wonderful. Okay. Yeah, so we're not getting much train backup. There was a little bit there, but otherwise I think we're okay. We'll have to keep our eye on this. We may need to knock this one out a little wider and bring it more down here. But I think for right now, it'll be alright. Yeah, there's lots of people arriving here already. Wonderful. And then we can continue to add intercity stops along this line now because of these new bypass stations. They can just come straight down the middle. Likewise with our own internal train lines as well. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, let's hang around for level 2 and then we'll think about a detailing time-lapse, shall we? And we have hit level 2. Wonderful. So this is going to give us a few new assets to use here. We have a cafeteria and also a gymnasium. So I think we're going to carry on expanding a little internal university path network here. Up until a point, let's maybe bring it into the corner of the road there. The gymnasium is looking like a nice asset to squeeze alongside the study hall here. Let's maybe try and integrate this one first. There is just the smallest sweet spot, that's not the gymnasium. So the gymnasium looks like an asset we can squeeze in right in this corner alongside the study halls. Which again with the pathways and all these little angles of these assets, it's going to integrate quite nicely I think. Then we also have the cafeteria and the fountain, which I don't think we're going to place here. We could bring a fountain outside the main building, but I think the terraform is going to go a little wacky, isn't it? Oh, yes it is. Nope, we don't want that there. Possibly outside of the train station, we can make a little kind of cafeteria and fountain plaza, if you like. Let's have a look. So if we were to drop the fountain outside there, we can bring a pathway behind it. Let's come onto our grid, no road guideline. Apologies if you heard that truck go past. And then the cafeteria straight out and behind. But again, asset orientation is key and very important. I think we'll probably get in some regular commercial around here as well. Let's bring these terraform lines down just a touch, just so we get that flat zoning in. There we go, so after. Just a couple of squares of commercial zoning in and around this train station as well. Save room for some green belt to meander around this area too. Then we also have the outdoor study area here as well, which I think will work nicely in some of these parklands that we've got going on around the back of the police station. Okay. I don't think that's too bad, is it? Definitely wants a lot of detail in this area. As always. As always, everyone. Okay guys, but that does feel like a good place for a detailing time-lapse. We have a repeated tree pattern to bring in along this ridge here against the arterials to help accentuate the start and entry of our campus. Some nice frontal detailing to do here too. Lots of trees and a ton of oil fencing to bring along the rail lines. And of course, some regular green belt stuff outside our train station to help complement the cafeteria. And there's some other little bits and pieces around the area as well. But otherwise, a lot done today. I think this is going to be quite a long episode. So apologies if it is maybe a little bit too long, but we love campus. Campus is great. But otherwise, I'll shut up. Let's start detailing, and I'll speak to you guys in a minute. Okay guys, that is going to do it for today. I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, a like below is always appreciated. Equally much if you haven't enjoyed it, please feel free to leave a dislike as well. Really happy with the start of this campus, and very happy as well with the integration of the train lines and the different layers of height that are now starting to appear within our first campus build. We're of course only about a third of the way through this campus, so we will continue to expand it as we move through the levels, and of course actually get that demand for university education. We'll also continue to draw out our various different transport methods here, including the road networks, hooking in a little bridge, and also drawing out those train lines and metro lines as well, so we can continue to expand that very dense public transport infrastructure. Also like to say a quick thank you and welcome to all the new people that have joined from 5 Builders. We've grown by about 2,500 subscribers in the last 28 days, which is insane. Thank you so much for all the support on the channel. That's the highest the growth has ever been. Welcome to all the new people. I hope you're enjoying what you see. But otherwise I will shut up and I will leave it there. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.